What is going on? Welcome to the video. It's Jesse with Rose Fitness NY and the Modern Man program. In today's video, I wanted to give you everything that you could possibly need to know about training at home and how to set up your workout routine optimally to see the best possible results and also really challenge yourself for the long term. At this point, I've worked with many clients who have only trained at home without any equipment for several years. So I've actually helped them progress their workout routine and continue to challenge themselves over the course of many years of training at home. So it definitely can be done. And at the time of making this video, pretty much everybody I know is training at home because of the whole coronavirus outbreak, including myself. I have not one piece of equipment right now. I've been just training with my body weight, so I'm hoping that this video can really give you some insight and really be helpful in absolutely dialing in on your training routine and getting the best possible results at home. And if you watch through the whole video, I'm going to be doing a giveaway at the end of the video, which you can take advantage of as well. So first off, I'll give you some context as to where I'm coming from as far as my training. So I've been a personal trainer for like 7 years now. I've been into working out and into strength training for about 8 or 9 years. And most of that has been training in the gym, more of a bodybuilding style of workout routines, really training for aesthetics, training to look as good as possible. So the fact that I can't actually go to the gym right now is really frustrating, and I'm sure it is for you as well. It's something that I look forward to. It's something that is a stress reliever and something that I genuinely enjoy. So the fact that I have to stay home and train in my house is a bit frustrating, but it's something that we all have to do. And to be honest with you, I'm actually looking forward to challenging myself in new ways and trying to come up with a whole different workout routine that is going to help me reach my goals, that is totally different from what I've been doing for the last several years. And the first thing I'll start off here with is nutrition. So regardless of what your goals are, if you want to lose weight, if you want to build muscle, whatever it is, nutrition is now the most important thing. If it wasn't already the most important thing before, it's almost multiplied how important it is, since you'll probably have limited resources as far as training goes. So regardless of what you end up doing for exercise, if you have weight loss goals, the most important thing is that you create a calorie deficit through your nutrition plan or through whatever nutrition strategy you're following. Generally, I recommend a deficit of anywhere from 200 calories to 500 calories, depending on how aggressively you want to go. So that's the most important thing. If you have muscle building or bulking goals, you're going to want to eat in a calorie surplus. So making sure you have enough food and you're eating enough on a day-by-day basis. And obviously, if you can track your individual macros, your proteins, carbs, and fats, that's going to be most beneficial as well. So the next thing I'll cover is training splits. So the actual routine that you'll follow throughout the week. And unless you've got some really impressive home gym, what I'm going to recommend for most people is doing a full body workout pretty much every time. So anywhere from, I guess, 3 to 5 full body workouts per week, especially if you're like me and you don't have any equipment at all. If you have some equipment, like a couple pairs of dumbbells or resistance bands or maybe some other things, you could probably make a case that you would do only 2 full body workouts and then an upper body day and a lower body day. Some of my clients are doing that. But for the vast majority of you watching, it's most likely going to be a full body workout anywhere from 3 to 5 times per week. And generally in these workouts, what I would recommend is doing anywhere from 1 to 2 exercises per muscle group. So you want to make sure that you're actually hitting each muscle group with at least 1 exercise. The last thing you want to do is just resort to doing like 100 push-ups a day and only training your chest and totally neglecting your back or your hamstrings or some other muscle group. And next, I'm going to give you 4 keys on how to execute your workouts that are going to help you maximize the effectiveness and maximize the progress you'll be able to see while training at home. So the first key is that for a lot of different exercises, I'd say for the majority, you're going to want to train until failure or until like pretty much almost failure, which is something that I generally don't do in the gym because you have access to all these different types of weight and resistance that it's easy to overload certain muscle groups. But since we're working with pretty much nothing at home, training until failure is going to be really, really important. And for this reason, I'm not suggesting a particular rep range in the sets that you do, but this is also a very good way to track your progress and see yourself get stronger. For example, if you're doing push-ups until failure and you're doing 3 sets, on that first set, maybe you get 40 push-ups the first time, but as the weeks progress, you're going to try to beat that and get 42, 45, maybe up to 50 or 60 push-ups on that first set. The second important key that I'm going to share with you is if you're more of an advanced lifter and you're like me and you've spent several years strength training already, is to use unilateral exercises whenever possible, meaning you're doing them on one leg. So for example, instead of doing a regular body weight squat, maybe do a pistol squat. Or instead of doing like a double leg hip thrust, you're gonna do a single leg hip thrust with just your body weight, and that's gonna be a lot harder, and that's gonna pretty much shorten the amount of reps you're gonna need to do until failure. Whereas if you were to do a double leg hip thrust, you may be there all day just banging out hip thrusts. So key number 3 is to increase the amount of time under tension, meaning the amount of time that your muscles are actually at work and under tension. The way to do this is to basically slow down the speed and the tempo of your exercises, and this is going to make things a lot harder. If you bang out 10 really fast push-ups compared to 10 rather slow push-ups, this 10 slow push-ups are going to be a lot harder, going to be more challenging on the body, and it may be a little hit on the ego that you can get less push-ups slowly than if you were to do them very quickly. But as far as muscle building goes, as far as getting stronger goes, as far as your results go, it's going to be much more beneficial to slow things down. And the final key I wanted to share with you is to pair exercises together into supersets or circuits. So a superset is when you do 2 exercises in a row and then you take a rest before completing set number 2. And a circuit would be pretty much the same thing, only you add a 3rd exercise into the grouping. So you do all 3 exercises, then take a rest, then go back and complete the 2nd round. And the reason I like doing this is because not only does it save time and allow you to do more exercises more quickly, but it's going to increase the intensity and the difficulty of the workout. And what I like to do is pair together opposite muscle groups. So for example, a chest exercise like a push-up, supersetted with a back exercise like a pull-up. Because since they're opposite muscle groups, they're not going to affect the other exercise's ability to perform that well. And if you're setting up a circuit, which would be 3 exercises, what you could do is do those same 2 opposite muscle groups. So say a push-up, a pull-up, and then the 3rd exercise could be like a cardio-based movement like jumping jacks or mountain climbers or jogging in place. Or that could be like a core-focused exercise like leg raises or bicycle crunches or a plank. So now for how to actually set up a full body workout at home, you're going to want to hit a few major points here. So the first is pushing exercises that are going to focus on either the chest or the shoulders. Second would be a pulling based movement focusing on the back. The third would be obviously legs, so that's going to encompass like the quads and the hamstrings and the glutes are the 3 primary muscle groups within the legs. And then the 4th is like core based exercises, and you want to include those 4 areas pretty much in every single workout. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of different options for each of those 4 areas, and I'll start with the pushing exercises. So if you have absolutely no equipment like me, the main pushing exercise you're going to want to do is some variation of a push-up. So this is going to mainly hit the chest with some shoulders and deltoids in there. This is obviously just a regular conventional push-up, but you can do them on your knees if you're more of a beginner, or you can do them with like a single leg up in the air if you're more advanced. This is a decline push-up or a foot elevated push-up. So this would be targeting more so of the shoulders, and the steeper you are, the higher the elevation you're at, the more shoulders you'll hit compared to chest. So next up would be the pulling based exercises for the back. And this is gonna probably be the hardest to find if you don't have any equipment and if you're just training with your body weight. The most ideal option would be some sort of pull-up variation. So if you have like a pull-up bar or something you can hang on your door, like an Iron Gym pull-up bar, that would be the best option. If not, your best bet may be to go outside, you know, since it is warmer weather, at least here where I am in New York, and find a park or find something to actually do pull-ups on. But there are a few other options for mid to upper and even, you know, lower back with just your body weight. So this example here is going to hit the lower back, the upper back, and also even like your shoulders and your hamstrings a little bit, because your legs are kept up off the ground, your chest is up off the ground as well, your hands are not touching the ground the entire time, and you're going to row backwards and squeeze your shoulder blades together at the bottom of the movement. So this is a Superman with a row. And then there's a similar looking movement which is called a YTW, or at least that's what I call it. You're basically just going to lift your upper body and your chest up off the ground, make a Y with your arms, then shift to a T, and then back down into a W. And this is going to hit, you know, the lower and upper back, but also the rear delts. And now I'll walk you through some options for the legs. So like I mentioned before, you're going to want to hit the three major muscle groups in the legs, which are the quads, the hamstrings, and the glutes. So these are probably my three favorite exercises for the legs that you can do at home. And as you can see, they're all done unilaterally, but have the option to do them both legs together if you're, you know, more of a beginner. So this first one is a Bulgarian split squat. So you can find a couch or a bed to put your rear leg up elevated onto. If this is actually too hard for you, you can just do this on a flat ground and just do a regular split squat. But this is really hard. This will mess your legs up, and this is one that you can do until failure, and you're probably not going to be doing 60 or 70 reps. That's a quad dominant movement. This is a second option for quads, is a pistol squat, and this one I found a low enough platform to kind of use as assistance. If you're advanced enough where you can just do a regular pistol squat without anything underneath you, that is fine too. And this is a single leg hip thrust, so you're gonna find a couch or a bed to lean up against, and it's just like you're doing a normal barbell hip thrust, only you're gonna extend one leg up in the air and do it one leg at a time. And this again is a glute focused movement, and you're pushing your weight through the heel of that one leg that's touching the ground there. And then one final exercise, this is a hamstring focused exercise, which is a bridge. So it's another hip hinge movement. You're going to put one leg up on the couch, you're going to extend your hips fully all the way up to the ceiling, and this can be done with two legs if this is too difficult for you as well, just like all the other ones. And finally, I'll share with you some options that you can do for your core, which to be honest isn't going to vary a whole lot from what you may do at the gym, since most ab exercises are just body weight exercises anyway. So this is a bicycle crunch, which I really like. It's probably my favorite ab exercise because it's not too stressful on the back or the neck, and it gives you some torso rotation as well for the obliques. And then another option for abs would be some variation of a leg raise. So I'm adding a hip lift to this one, but if that's too hard for you, you can simply eliminate that and just do normal leg raises on the ground or on a bench if you have one, or a bed, I suppose, as well. And then there's, you know, a million variations of planks as well. So a normal plank you can do on your elbows. This is a high plank with you know, a knee up to my elbow and then rotating it across the side of my body. These are really, really difficult. I tend to like planks that have some sort of variation to them. So there we go. We've covered a lot already on exactly how to train at home to see the best possible results and continuing to challenge yourself in the long term. Last thing I'll leave you with here is my opinions on what pieces of equipment might be most helpful and be the most bang for your buck if you are looking to get some equipment for home now. So the first suggestion I have would be a pull-up bar, which I mentioned before. I think this can be a huge benefit if you were to get yourself a pull-up bar. Now, obviously, if you're more of a beginner and you're not at the fitness level yet, where you're capable of banging out more than like 5 or 10 pull-ups at a time, then maybe wait and hold off before getting one of these until you're capable of doing that. So my next best suggestion would be to get a couple pairs of dumbbells, usually a lighter to moderate pair and a mid to heavy weighted pair would be really helpful. And I actually just ordered 2 pairs of dumbbells yesterday, a pair of 30s and a pair of 40s, because with those I can do a lot. And for the average person, for the average adult male, getting anywhere from 15-pound dumbbells all the way up to like 35 or 40-pound ones pretty much allows you to train the whole body. You can do kind of front-loaded dumbbell squats here like that. You can obviously do overhead pressing, curling, lateral raises. You can do floor presses for the chest or even flies. You can do single leg RDLs, or if you get heavy enough, maybe double leg RDLs. There's just a whole lot you can do with just a couple sets of dumbbells. If you're more of an advanced lifter and you've got plenty of experience training with barbells, that's what I would recommend next, is getting yourself a barbell with maybe a handful of plates for each side, maybe a 45-pound plate and a 25-pound plate for each side. That will probably run you anywhere from $400 to $800. And I'm assuming most people probably don't have the space for that, especially here in New York. People pretty much have no space at all. So if you have the luxury where you've got enough space and you have used barbells plenty in the past, so you know exercises you could do like overhead pressing, squats, back, lunges, RDLs, bent over rows, curls even. There's still plenty to do with a barbell, but that's only something I would recommend for someone who's more experienced. And after those options, the next one that I would recommend is a TRX suspension trainer. So I actually have one of these. It's just hidden somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. This is an extremely versatile tool. It allows you to train every single muscle group in the body using your own body weight as leverage. Basically, you would hook these straps up to a door, or you can take it outside, hook it on a tree, and you place your body at different angles to increase the intensity and the difficulty, or make it easier, and it's extremely versatile. So this is what I would recommend next. I think it's about 150 bucks on Amazon. It's really good because it's easy to travel with. You can put it in a little bag and take it with you if you're going on a trip. So this is what I would recommend as well. And lastly, I would recommend resistance bands. So obviously these are probably the most common because they're super cheap. You could probably get a pair for 10 or 20 bucks. Various forms of resistance and thickness, obviously. I'm not a massive fan of these. They're better than not having anything at all, I suppose, because you can train the more isolated muscle groups, like doing some lateral raises, some curls, and of course you could hang it on something, do some rows or some pull downs. So there definitely is a benefit to them, and that's probably my final recommendation as far as tools and equipment for home. And at the beginning of the video, I promised a giveaway if you stayed until the end, so that's what I'm doing now. What I wanted to do, since it is such a difficult time for so many people, is give away 30 days of free home workouts, which I put together just to help out, just to help you stay on track and hit your fitness goals during this difficult time. So if you want that, fully laid out, 30 days of home training with the video demonstrations for each exercise, shoot me an email. My email I'll put on the screen here somewhere, info@rosefitnessny.com. Send me a message with the subject line free home workouts or something, and let me know that you were watching this YouTube video, and I'd be happy to send them over to you. So thank you so much for watching. Hope this was helpful. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, or a thumbs down if you hated it. And thank you so much. I will see you on the next video.